Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football this weekend. As always, Patrick Van Straten is sat to my right, and yes guys, we've joined the 21st century. We're reading research off our phones, also known as the printers have broken in the office. Nevertheless, we are cracking on. Juventus, our first winners, Pato, aren't they?
Yes, indeed, they are. They beat Palermo 4-1 this weekend to go briefly 10 points clear before it was cut back to 7 after Napoli played. They've now lost twice in their last 15 games, which is quite a lot for Juventus, but not a lot for a normal team. They haven't lost at home in 43 games. They've won 29 consecutive home games. 29. In that time, they've kept 19 clean sheets and they've scored 69 goals, more than 2 goals every game. That is absolutely revolting. And they've got, well, I was going to say they've got one man to thank for their current form, but they haven't. They're an incredible side. But you want to highlight one guy.
Yeah, I want to highlight Paulo Dybala, because on the weekend he was quite frankly unplayable. Of course, got 2 goals and got an assist. One of the goals was a spectacular free kick, of course, against the team he used to play for, Palermo. This season he's got 10 goals and 5 assists in all competitions in just 25 games. And for a 23-year-old, that is seriously impressive stuff. His combinations with Higuain are sickening to watch. Honestly, the rest of Serie A must shit themselves when Higuain and Dybala's names come out on the team sheet. Of course, got another assist for Higuain in the weekend, and Higuain got an assist for him. That's the most common assist-to-scorer combination in the entire Serie A. Here, Higuain has actually got 22 goals as well. Wow. So combine that with Dybala's output, and it's vile. But I really want to know from you guys at home, do you think Dybala is the best creative striker in the entire world right now? It's a serious question.
It's a claim.
He can't stop scoring goals. He could well be. Probably just below it in my opinion. But what do you guys at home think? Let us know by voting in the poll above my head, yonder.
First up in the losers category, it's Leicester City. Joseph, what happened?
Oh dear, it's gone from pretty shambolic to downright catastrophic at the weekend. Dear me, taken apart by 10-man Millwall in the FA Cup, of course, lost 1-0, and Claudio Ranieri is in serious trouble. He started a weakened side in this game. He left Vardy on the bench, he left Mahrez on the bench, Schmeichel wasn't in the squad. He was relying on some of the players he bought in the summer, like Musa. Now, Musa, interesting case, an absolute flyer on the ball.
Yeah.
But this guy couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. Honestly, dearie me, 8 shots on the weekend, just 1 on target. Leicester actually had 12 shots in the first half. Just 1 of them was on target. So poor compared to last season, where they were incredibly clinical in front of goal. Everything they hit went in. They even had 65% possession in this game. They dominated Millwall. But like I said, the players he bought in the summer, aka Musa, to replace the likes of Vardy, weren't firing on the weekend, not good enough, and Millwall, what a win for the Lions.
Well, yeah, they're 33 places behind Leicester in the English Football League system, and they have actually beaten the reigning top flight champions in a competitive match. Wait for this. For the first time since a 3-1 win over Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup back in 1927.
What?
1927. It's the first time since the 1936-37 season, I think we all remember that scorcher, that they've eliminated 3 top flight sides in the same FA Cup campaign. It's amazing stuff.
Scary.
They've reached the last 8 of the competition 3 times in the last 32 years. So this is a special run for them. And it was a special win as well, because they went down to 10 men with nearly 40 minutes left to be played.
Very impressive.
And then they scored the winner with 1 minute left to be played. They actually went ahead when they were down a man. Sean Cummings got the goal. Let me talk you through his stats. 3 tackles, 4 clearances, 1 interception, 2 key passes, and of course the winner. Now Millwall, they played to their strengths in this game. They had 57% pass accuracy, so they don't like to play the ball on the deck, but when it's in the air, they win it. They won 27 aerial duels, and they won 17 tackles. Compare that to Leicester, who won just 9. They lack that intensity from last season. Also, they lack N'Golo Kante. But anyway, can they go all the way? A Leicester due to drop out of the Premier League as well as the FA Cup. Let us know what you think in the comments just down there.
Staying in England for our next winners, I'm a happy boy. It's Manchester United, and one man in particular, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, Man United beat Blackburn 2-1 in the FA Cup and beat Saint-Etienne 3-0 in the Europa League. These would have been huge results back in the 1970s. In 2017, they're fine, I suppose. But they are on a fantastic run. They've lost just once in 24 games. Their last loss, that's a run that stretches back to November the 3rd. That's pretty decent. They brushed Saint-Etienne aside, like it was no real challenge. They had a bad first half. But then in the second half, they just stepped into gear. And the same thing kind of happened against Blackburn.
Yeah.
It was a pretty even game, actually. But then when you've got Zlatan and Pogba on the bench, then you do have that magic in your back pocket. Pogba, very dominant, got another assist. Every one of his assists this season has been for Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Jesus.
Every single one. That connection is very, very promising. And they created 6 chances between the two of them in 30 minutes. For a bit of perspective, that's the same as Blackburn managed in the entire game. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, Zlatan was ridiculous against Blackburn and brilliant against Saint-Etienne, of course. Got the winner against Blackburn and a hat-trick against the French club. In his last 20 games, he's scored 18 goals.
That's good.
Seriously impressive stuff. I mean, 36 games played for United this season, 24 goals, 6 assists. That's a goal involvement every 101 minutes for Manchester United. Wow. And people were saying, oh, it won't be anything in England. We'll struggle to get goals. He's doing it for fun. I'll be honest though, the rest of our team needs to start contributing more. Since the start of last season, Zlatan has 24 goals, Martial has 24 goals, Rooney has 20. Zlatan's played 1 season less than the rest of them. What is going on there? That's mental. Although you have to say, this guy is super prolific. He's scored 20 plus goals in his last 10 seasons, consecutive seasons. That's including Italy, Spain, France, and now England. And he's getting even better with age. Listen to this. Goals before turning 30, 232 in 529 games. Goals after turning 30, 246 in 300 games. Jesus Christ, by the time he's 50, he's going to be getting 2 goals a game. The man is like a mythical creature, Pato, and for that reason, and that reason alone, he has to be in our winners category.
Next up, another humdinger from the FA Cup. Manchester City 0, Huddersfield 0. Clash of the Titans.
Oh, you can tell it's FA Cup weekend when this kind of result slips into the winners and losers. Deary, deary me, it was a dull, dull game. But some stats for you here. Here's a crucial one. Both sides last met in 2000. That's 17 years ago, and they drew 1-1. And that was when they were both in the first division.
Quality.
So two teams kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum nowadays. They've taken 2 very different routes to this stage. Manchester City have won just 1 of their past 4 FA Cup games against lower level sides. So they're not actually that great against them. They've won 1, drawn 1 and lost 2, but they were extremely, extremely dominant in this game. They had 15 shots, 5 of them were on target, an 81% pass success rate, and Sergio Aguero was back. Of course, Gabriel Jesus likely to miss the rest of the season. He had 3 shots in this game, Aguero, and completed 4 dribbles, so a pretty impressive performance, but couldn't break down the mighty Huddersfield backline. Pep Guardiola will be very happy not to lose though, because he has still never been knocked out of a cup competition by a team in a lower league than him for his whole managerial career, Pato. But Huddersfield, hats off.
Well, they deserve this result. I want to talk about Whitehead and Billing. Billing is 20 years old, and these are the guys who played in midfield for Huddersfield.
Yeah.
They made 13 tackles between the two of them. They won 5 aerial duels and had 78% pass success. Now, that's actually pretty good. Against Manchester City, they're going to press you, they're going to harry you, and you're probably going to be a little bit nervous playing such an accomplished side. But this was Huddersfield's first clean sheet against top-flight opposition in the FA Cup for the first time since January 1971. 46 years they've gone without keeping a clean sheet against top-flight opposition. But they did it this time, and they did it against Pep Guardiola. They're now unbeaten in 7 consecutive competitive games, though their last 6 were wins. This has broken a winning streak.
Damn it.
But let me tell you about this, okay? The Terriers, they're an elite company. They're the 6th team to stop Man City scoring. This is in all competitions this season. Let me tell you the other clubs.
Go on.
Liverpool,
Woof.
Tottenham,
Ouch.
Everton, Man United and Barcelona.
Wow.
Those are the only other teams to stop Man City scoring. And you know what? You add Huddersfield's name to that list, mate. To that roster of giants. Well done, Huddersfield. I hope you fucking smash them in the second leg.
Never happening. Our final winner of the day comes from Germany, and it's Borussia Dortmund, Pato.
Yes, pardon that racist accent, but it was a good day for Dortmund. They beat Wolfsburg 3-0 at the Westfalenstadion, a slightly empty Westfalenstadion because, of course, the yellow wall was banned for this match, making for quite a strange atmosphere. Dortmund are now up to third in the Bundesliga. They're ahead of Hoffenheim on goal difference, and this was finally a win. They've had back-to-back losses against Benfica and Darmstadt, though they deserved better. Certainly against Benfica, I thought.
Benfica.
Yeah, Aubameyang had a terrible game. The chances he missed were genuinely unbelievable. If you watch it, he was on Cavani form, as in he was creating incredible opportunities for himself and then just shanking them into the crowd. But anyway, another good thing that happens to Dortmund this weekend, apparently they're going to sign Mahmoud Dahoud from Borussia Mönchengladbach in the summer for a fee as low as 10 million euros. This was a guy who we were talking about Liverpool paying 40 million pounds for, and it's just another reason for Thomas Tuchel to say no when Arsenal come calling in the summer and begging him to be their manager. Quality seasons.
Yes, indeed. Of course, Borussia Dortmund battered Wolfsburg on the weekend, up to third in the table, like you said, and one main man to thank for it.
Oh, is there?
It's Lucas Piszczek. That's an unusual name, obviously coming from defence, but he was involved in all 3 of the goals. Got an assist for 2 of them and scored. He has been on incredible form for Borussia Dortmund this season. No defender in the Bundesliga has scored more goals than Lucas Piszczek this season. He's got 5 already. That's very, very impressive. And his combinations with Ousmane Dembele are sickening. They honestly are. The guy, Ousmane Dembele, I'm running out of superlatives to describe him, honestly.
Yeah.
He got another goal against Wolfsburg on the weekend, taking his tally for this season up to 5, and he has been involved in 8 assists in the Bundesliga alone. That's more than any other player in the entire league. The 13 goal involvements I just spoke about there is more than any other teenager in the whole of Europe. There is no way that Borussia Dortmund are going to be able to hang on to Ousmane Dembele for much longer. We know they're a selling club. Who is going to buy Ousmane Dembele? Please let it be Manchester United. Probably going to be Real Madrid or Barcelona, though, in my opinion. Whoever gets him, probably got a future Ballon d'Or winner.
Quite possibly. Let us know in the comments below whether you think Dembele could beat Dybala to a Ballon d'Or. The answer is yes. Our final losers are Burnley, who took on Lincoln, non-league Lincoln, at one of the continent's premier footballing establishments, Turf Moor. Oh.
What a name. Turf. It's just grass.
Turf
and Moor
Moor
is like Dartmoor.
It's like
shithole.
It's like the name of like a Pro Evo soccer stadium.
It is, 100% is. But I don't want to talk about Burnley just yet. I'll let you talk about Burnley, Paulo. I want to talk about Lincoln, the masters of the cup set this season. Obviously beat them 1-0 on the weekend, and boy oh boy, do they play to their strengths, Lincoln. They love aerial duels, because on the weekend, they won 44 of them. 44, my goodness gracious me. Burnley won 26. It was a tale of the long ball. Lincoln, though, 81 places behind Burnley at this stage. 81 places. The first team since QPR, the first non-league team, I should say, since QPR, to reach the quarterfinals since 1914, 103 years ago. They're in fact only the 3rd team ever to knock out 4 league clubs as a non-league side in a single season. Incredible stuff. They had 5 shots in this game, and of course got an 88th minute winner through Ragger, a good header at the back post. Well done to Lincoln. But I have to say, Pato, Burnley and the Ginger Mourinho, very disappointed. Good at home.
Yeah, though Raggett will be delighted. He actually made the Gazzetta dello Sport's Team of the Week alongside Gamero and Harry Kane. So a great day for him. But Burnley, oh my goodness me. They had 17 shots, which is incredibly high volume for Burnley.
Yeah.
That's like the number of shots that Liverpool take in a game. But they only got 5 of them on target. Now that means, of course, that Lincoln's keeper made 5 saves, while Tom Heaton made 0. Big fat 0. 1 shot on target. Let it in. Very unimpressive stuff. Now, they've actually only lost 4 times at Turf Moor this season. Once to Swansea, once to Man City, and once to Arsenal. That cheeky little handball. Lovely stuff. And now to Lincoln as well. So nobody expected Lincoln to get a result in this game, but they must be hugely excited for the next round. They're either going to play Sutton, which would guarantee a non-league side in the semi-finals of the FA Cup at Wembley, or they're going to play Arsenal, which would be a huge money fixture for them to go to the Emirates. It'd be amazing stuff. Now, Joey Barton, though, he is probably our dickhead of the weekend.
Yes.
He dived to the floor after knocking his own head against the big striker's arm. I think the striker's called Reed. Just like knocked his head against his arm and went down like a raging pussy.
scumbag.
Took to Twitter afterwards to pretend that he wasn't trying to get him sent off. Yes, you were, Joey. You're a scumbag. Everyone hates you. I'm glad you're out of the cup. Well done, Lincoln. You make great sausages as well.
Shout-outs time now then, and you guys have been sending in your suggestions to me and Pato all weekend. If you want to get involved next weekend, hit us up on these handles. The first winner suggestion comes from Antonio. He says, Western Sydney Wanderers. I don't know why I'm doing that in an American accent. They beat Sydney FC in the derby and ended Sydney FC's 11-match unbeaten streak. Very impressive from the Western Sydney Wanderers and a great name. Philippe Rene Peroni, nice beer, great name. He says Kevin Gamero for his hat-trick. I think Pato's going to talk more about him on Euro Roundup. And Mercury Trotsky, big Trotskyite, he says Gareth Bale for scoring a stunner on his comeback.
Okay, I've got some shout-outs in the losers. Evil Stunky says Birmingham, who've now got 1 win in 14, and they lost 4-1 to 19th placed QPR. That's a bad result, I believe. Potato God, he said Istanbul for their 0-0 draw after losing 4-0 the week before. So, yeah, they haven't scored in 2 weeks. It's not ideal for them either. And Connor, who says Monaco because they dropped points against Bastia this weekend, especially as PSG went on to draw against Toulouse. They really could have done with those points. But anyway, those are our loser shout-outs.
So that's all we've got time for on today's winners and losers. But before you go anywhere, make sure you head over to Euro Roundup where they are covering.
We've got PSG, we've got Kevin Gamero, we've got Wolfsburg, we've got all sorts of good stuff.
Oh, that sounds delightful. And as ever, guys, please do like and subscribe.
Catch you next time.
Sayonara.